Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this Tuesday's episode of Just Another Year Chicago. I told you guys Tuesday is the worst day of the week, especially with the news I'm sure you've all heard about today, especially considering it's in the title and it's pretty much the thumbnail, is that two-time All-Pro, 25-year-old, and the best Bears linebacker since Brian Urlacher and Lance Briggs, arguably, Roquan Smith, has requested a trade from the away from the Chicago Bears. I'll be bringing more on Family Fest. I'll be bringing more on the Roquan Smith situation as he was at Family Fest today, even after this news broke. A lot of information coming out today. More injuries to the wide receiver and defensive back room. Just a crazy, crazy day for the Chicago Bears. I'm here to hit on more, but before we begin this episode, I'd like to make a quick announcement. Your Chicago White Sox are battling in the AL Central to make a deep run for the playoffs this year. For all your White Sox ticket needs, contact my cousin, Matt Rohde, who's a sales associate with the Chicago White Sox. Matt can set you up with a luxury diamond suite, provide discounted group rates, and help you find the perfect plan for the 2023 season. Also, be sure to ask him about postseason tickets for the best price. Get them now. Email is in the description. Matt's a great guy. Might throw a couple extras in there for you guys. Just want to put that out there real quick. But, White Sox are looking good as of late. A lot of people are texting me, should I convince myself that they're good again? The White Sox, they're going to make the playoffs this year. There's no doubt. I think they will. I think they're going to get hot at the right time. And you want to be there for the postseason. You want to be there with all your friends. I know that we're going to be doing it for Just Another Year outing. So stay tuned for that as well. But make sure that you contact Matt. His email is in the description. Let's move forward into the Roquan Smith situation, though. So the whole timeline of the entire thing. News broke this morning in the early AM from a tweet from Ian Rappoport that Smith wrote the following, and I'm going to read this to you guys. To the city of Chicago and all Bears fans worldwide, I've officially requested a trade. Just writing these words is deeply painful. I'm a kid from McCown County, Georgia. When you grow up playing football, you dream of making it to the NFL one day. However, playing the linebacker position, you never imagine getting drafted in the top 10 by the Chicago Bears. I'm a homegrown Bear, ! So he's excited about that. A dream come true for me is to have the opportunity to put on that Bears helmet, wear the same jersey that the legendary linebackers did, and it's indescribable. It's an indescribable feeling. Walking these halls for the past 4 years, you can feel the spirit. You can feel the pressure to live up to the timeless history and that great legacy. I dreamed about playing like Wilbur Marshall, Singletary, Briggs, Urlacher, and Butkus. Since the day I was drafted, I vowed to play this position at a level that upheld the standard that was set before me and to uphold the respect and honor, and I have. Unfortunately, the new front office, so he's calling out the front office regime, doesn't value me here. They've refused to negotiate in good faith. Every step on the journey has been a take it or leave it. The deal they sent to me would be one that would be bad for myself and the entire linebacker market if I signed it. I've been trying to get something done that's fair since April. That's news, since April. But their focus has been trying to take advantage of me. I want to be a Bear for my entire career, help this team bring a Super Bowl back to our city. However, they have left me no choice but then to request a trade that allows me to play for an organization that truly values what I bring to the table. Now, this is the big one. I haven't had the chance to talk to the McCaskey family, and maybe they can salvage this. But as of right now, I don't see a path back to the organization I truly love. I hope and pray you can all understand. Deeply sorry that it's come to this. Sincerely, Roquan Smith. That is from Ian Rappoport. Wow. There are so many different messages in this. The McCaskey line that I read, that I put an asterisk in front of, that's the hope. That's the hope. A lot of people think this is a negotiating tactic. Like, now I'm actually putting the pressure on Chicago. I'm not showing up to practice. I'm showing up, but I'm not doing anything. The Bears still put him on the physically unable to perform. So he hasn't gotten any fines yet. And who knows how much of this is true. A lot of this could be emotion. But with what the McCaskies have learned this past offseason, bringing in experts of how to run a football team and bringing everyone they have, I feel they will step in and do the work with Ryan Poles, kind of say, we're going to pay him. We're going to pay him, and you're going to make this work. Ryan Poles' boss, who he directly goes into, is George McCaskey. And George McCaskey seems a lot more invested than he has been in the past. I'm just being optimistic out there. I know that a lot of people aren't going to agree with me, but I feel like George McCaskey is actually trying with this franchise now. Unfortunately, now he's actually trying. Should have been trying a long time ago. But anyway, I think that this isn't a good look on Ryan Poles, but there's more to it. But then there's more that I want to put out there. Roquan Smith doesn't have an agent. So the combo between him and the front office, there is no experienced middleman to help negotiate. He also doesn't have to pay anyone commission fee every single year on the contract, which can become pricey depending on who your agent is. But Smith is taking the entire contract home for himself. So there are so many factors here. Not saying he doesn't deserve the money, which I'll get into in a second, but the Bears look at other linebackers who make more than $18 million a year, and all of them have agents. All of them were properly negotiated, and all of them didn't have to speak to the player directly. They talked to the agent. Smith apparently wants $22 million a season and push over a $100 million contract, making him by far the highest paid linebacker in the NFL. Not saying he's not worth that, but sheesh, that's a lot of dough. That's a lot, and especially beating out the next linebacker who ironically played for Eberflus last year by over $3 million. Finally, Smith was at Family Fest today, not padded, but in Bears attire, which the Bears did not announce his name while talking about the current roster going on the field in the linebackers group. Very strange. The whole thing is so weird. Like, he's on the physically unable to perform list so he doesn't get fines. Eberflus says they're having great conversations. He's saying that the front office doesn't like him. The McCaskies are now going to get involved. Holy crap. What a Tuesday. No one's had their coffee, more than 2 cups of coffee yet. Yeah, I'm filming this at 12 o'clock. Crazy. Overall, I am torn though. I want him to stay. I really want Roquan Smith to stay. It'd be dumb to let him go or trade him unless they get an insane package like Rudy Gobert status, how many first-round draft picks the Bears would get. But $22 million is a ton for a cap hit. The Bears, I think, will find a way for him to stay. I want him to stay. Everyone in Chicago wants him to stay, but you got to look at the future of this franchise. They need to get that number lower. Even $20 million. That puts the Bears in a good position to have an extra $2 million cap for all those years. On top of it, if you have to sign a veteran to a veteran minimum in an emergency situation, you have that $2 million sitting around. What do you think? I'm going to put it in the pinned comment below, but I want to hear your guys' thought on the entire situation, kind of from my rant right there. I think $20 million is a fair number. Still the highest paid linebacker in the NFL. Still going to get $100 million. You sign him to 5 years. Weird situation, though. Weird situation. Let's go to the offense, though. Start off with injury report. Wide receiver N'Keal Harry is out with an ankle injury. Wide receiver Byron Pringle is out with a quad injury. Wide receiver Velus Jones Jr. is out with an undisclosed injury. That's 3 practices in a row that he hasn't been there yet. Guard Lucas Patrick is out with a broken thumb, aiming to come back for week 1. Wide receiver Dante Pettis is out with an undisclosed injury. And a new one is wide receiver David Moore today during Family Fest, injured during a one-on-one drill. He was grabbing for his right leg, could not put any weight on it. Not a really good sign for the Chicago Bears, especially with that wide receiver group. That was 5 out of the 6 guys that are injured that are out right now. Let's go to the offensive line real quick. The offensive line for the starting group today was Braxton Jones at left tackle, left guard Cody Whitehair, center Sam Mustipher, which would be replaced by Lucas Patrick. Sorry about that. Right guard Michael Schofield, who had himself a day today. Just want to put that out there. And right tackle Riley Reeve, who also had himself a day. Borum had a good day today. As you can see, he wasn't in the starting lineup. He was actually running with the 2s with Tevin Jenkins. Kind of an interesting situation. He held his blocks very well against whoever he faced. He worked in with the 1s, but what the call was, he had faster feet, better blocking, good vision. Overall, a good day. Tevin Jenkins was also spotted with Borum running with the 2s as a right tackle. So the guys that we wanted to start in last year are on the 2s right now. So clearly there's been a good evaluation from this coaching staff for the reasoning for that. More to come. But they made, overall, the offensive line today made some really nice holes for David Montgomery, according to reports that I'm seeing from live tweets on Twitter. And they're all looking really quick off the snap. So overall, the offensive line had an improved day, and they're ranked 11th by ESPN as of right now. So that's also a good sign, much better than last year. But I want to call out Schofield again real fast. He had a very strong day, quick off the blocks, quick upfield with David Montgomery blocking linebackers. So overall, good day for the offensive line, talking positive. Let's talk to wide receivers. Even though they're banged up, the guys that were out there today were putting on a show. Darnell Mooney continues to impress. He had a super nice one-handed grab that we retweeted on our Twitter over the defender. I mean, he got elevated to go get this ball. Looked really good. Brought it down well, got the crowd going. Darnell Mooney's looking good so far. St. Brown also had himself a day today, a couple nice slant routes up the middle, and then was able to break it for a touchdown during Bears Fest. So overall, I mean, the wide receiver group, the 2 guys that are out there consistently, St. Brown and Mooney, they're looking good. And Justin Fields also looks very comfortable with them. His release looks really good, improved and comfortable compared to last year, according to reports and from video. So that's just a personal opinion, but also from reports. So Justin Fields also had himself a day today. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball from Family Fest. The injury report is that cornerback Kyler Gordon is out with an undisclosed injury. Cornerback Thomas Graham Jr. is out with a hamstring injury, and Duke Shelley is also out with an undisclosed injury. So I just want to put this out there. The guys that are going up and down the field and the guys that are versing each other are getting hurt the most. So I would talk to the trainers and see what's going on there, see if, exactly. Again, when you're in an offense that doesn't move that much, your body's not used to these moves. So hopefully a lot of these injuries aren't too serious and the guys will be back before the Saturday's game against Kansas City Chiefs. But a lot to come. It's crazy how banged up the room is. Well, let's go to the guys that actually played today. Robert Quinn looked fantastic, according to reports. He was getting a lot of pressure on Fields, but he was being blocked very well. But overall, he was getting in the backfield. He was working into this defensive scheme very well. So Robert Quinn the speed was good, the strength was good, the vision was good, and looks like he's in for another strong season with the Chicago Bears. The linebacker and the rest of the defensive line did a pretty good job today as well. Again, linebackers, I hit on Roquan Smith nearly the entire video. So the more to come on that, we'll be actively tweeting that and posting it on our Instagram for you guys to know. And then the defensive backs, even though they're banged up, expect Chicago to potentially look into some veteran minimum signings that I was kind of talking about, what you need that $2 million for with Roquan Smith. Jalen Johnson had a couple nice pass breakups today. That's kind of it from, overall. Today's main subject of focus was Roquan Smith against Ryan Poles, and I hope it gets fixed soon. It stinks that Family Fest did not have Roquan Smith, their heart and soul, the defense out there. But more to come. But with that, thank you very much for joining this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. We'll be back tomorrow to go over more for you guys. But with that, thank you very much for joining this episode, and we'll see you guys next time.